everyone, Clint Wise here with Freedom Realty Source, and as many of you know, Homes for Heroes as well. So I wanted to come to you guys today because I've had a few of my clients recently ask me how long I think that this current crazy seller's market is going to last. And they're often surprised when I tell them that I don't think that there's any end to it in sight for the foreseeable future. Many people think because of what they experienced in the recession and the housing market crash in 08 and 09, that we are at our peak and that the market is going to somehow crash, that housing prices are going to fall 15, 20%, 30%. And the data is just not showing that. I stay up to date on all kinds of articles and financial folks that I track on market trends and housing trends. And first, the notable thing to take a look at is the housing market is not necessarily tied to the external economic market. In fact, over the last 6 recessions, which yes, we've had 6 of them, some of them you may not even know about. We've had 6 recessions, including 2008. So 2008 and 9, that housing market crash being one. There's been 6 other recessions that have taken place since then. And the housing market, as many of you know, has continued to climb through those other 5 technically recessions that we've had since 2008 and 2009. So that's the first thing to take note, is that those 2 things are not necessarily tied together. And you could be going through an economic downturn in the external economy and the housing market continue to flourish and houses continue, housing and homes prices continue to rise, okay? But I pulled this article and I wanted to read just a couple things off of it because I think it'll give some good insight into what's going on with the housing market and why housing demand is likely to stay high for years to come. And any time you have high demand on a product like homes, prices are going to continue to rise. Demand is what drives those prices. So here we go. So 5.7 million missing households since the Great Recession, all right? So the Great Recession caused roughly a vacuum of 5.7 million missing households, or households that would have formed since the recession in 08 and 09, had that not taken place, all right? And I'll tell you why that's important in just a minute. If rates had remained at pre-Great Recession levels, there would be 5.7 million more US households today. And you put that together with the fact that we've got this generation of millennials right now that are coming into the prime home buying age, all right? And so that's going to hopefully start to catch up on some of that 5.7 million missing households. The pandemic caused a lot of that millennial age group to move back in with their parents last year, and so a lot of them moved back into home, got away from whatever rental they were in, because a lot of them were renting is what the data shows, and they moved back in with their parents to get through the trying times. Maybe they were laid off or whatever, but a lot of that is starting to bounce back. And so you have a lot of millennials now, which those folks are saying, okay, instead of renting, I want to jump back into the housing market, all right? And as many of you know, we have very low inventory levels right now. And so anytime you put low inventory up against the high demand on the product, prices are going to go through the roof. Look what's happening with construction materials right now. A lot of construction material manufacturers, plywood, metal, stuff like that got behind with the pandemic, and prices have skyrocketed now. You used to pay, $2, $3 for a 2x4. Now it's like almost $14. Plywood is over $40 a sheet. You used to be able to get a piece of 4x8 plywood, probably for a sixth of that price. So a lot of things are being affected right now. We're still trying to get caught up on what happened. The last 2 years showed that when the economy is firing on all cylinders and most Americans have access to decent jobs, more of them will be able to find a home of their own, right? So jobs are starting to return now. A lot of places are opening up, especially in Central Florida. We are one of the most quote-unquote open places in this nation. And so a lot of people are starting to return to work. The sooner we can put the pandemic and the 2020 recession, right? So we had a recession in 2020. behind us, the sooner access to housing can resume its expansion. All right. Roughly $6 trillion in real estate equity vanished during the housing crash of 08 and 09, impacting the ability of families to pass down wealth to their children. Young people who finished school around the late 2000s faced a soft job market, which can have a long-lasting effect on a person's finances and their ability to start a new household. Previous Zillow research has shown it takes about 6 years for homeownership rates of those who graduated college during a recession to catch up with those who graduated during better economic times. And then we are building about 3 homes right now. So talking about new construction, currently the rate is about 3 homes per 1,000 Americans per year in early 2020. And that's compared to a historical average of almost 4. So that's gone down a little bit. Some of the challenges holding back new construction include shortage of building materials, builders having trouble acquiring land in populated areas so that they can build homes. I know in Central Florida, especially in Osceola County, it may seem like there's building going on everywhere, and there is a lot of it going on, but the builders can't even keep up with demand. I used to have clients I deal with a lot of new construction sales year over year. And you used to be able to walk into a builder and they would have multiple inventory homes ready to be closed in 30 days. You find out, pick one that you like the best with the right interior features for you, and you could close on that home and get some great incentives. Now you have to be ready to build that home. There just isn't any inventory in the new construction market either. And so I have several clients right now that are going to go ahead and take advantage of this awesome seller's market, and they're going to find a rental for a couple of years, continue to save money, possibly start their new build and just take their time with building a home, which is also an option. So then, interest rates are still at, I think 30-year historical lows. They're holding pretty steadily now. About a month ago, we had a pretty decent hike in interest rates. They came up about 0.5 to 0.75 of a point across the board, but they've seemed to level off a little bit, and they're holding in the mid 3s. And so if you are looking to buy a house, you're going to have your work cut out for you. One, I always feel that honesty is the best policy when starting out with people, and I'm not going to lie to you. It is going to be an uphill battle getting an offer accepted, but that's all the more reason why it's important to have an agent who knows how to go up against multiple offer situations, that has relationships with other agents in the area that you're looking, because those phone calls can be made, and agents want to work with agents who they've had a successful experience with in the past. And I have a lot of experience in selling homes and dealing with a lot of different agents, and have had great experiences with agents in closing houses. If you're looking to buy a house, we will get it done. Don't fear that you're not going to find a home. We just have to be a little bit more patient right now, and put in a really good, strong offer. I'll make sure that you're not overpaying for a home any more than you absolutely have to. You may have to come in above asking price right now to secure a home, but we will make sure that we can do everything we can to get that house to appraise out so that you're not starting in a home underwater. Nobody likes to do that, and I certainly wouldn't recommend that. But there are things that we can do to get your offer accepted and to get you into a really good house. And if you need to dance that delicate dance right now of selling a home and buying one, a sale contingency seems to be kind of a dirty word right now among a lot of agents. And they seem to forget that most people need to sell a home to buy one. And so again, that's where those relationships come into play in getting someone to accept our offer. All right. So you guys give me a call if you have any other questions. I hope you found this information enlightening today, and give me a call if you have anything at all that you need to talk with me about. My number is 321-615-2812. You can also reach me at clint@gofreedomrealty.com. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.